going to destroy the world.
My father said that one day, if man continued in his ways, the Creator would annihilate this world.
Can it not be averted?
He speaks to you. You must trust that he speaks in a way that you can understand.
I saw water. Death by water. And I saw new life. A great flood is coming. We build a vessel to survive the storm. We build an ark.
Mama! What is it? Oh, them!
What do you want? You don't know your king. There isn't anything for you here.
I have men at my back, and you stand alone and defy me?
I'm not alone.
It begins.
When they come, they will be desperate, and there will be many.
Take the ark!
I see how hard this was for you.
Remember, Noah, he chose you for a reason.
Is this the end of everything?
Beginning. Beginning of everything.
I don't know how to feel about this trailer, and I think that's because this movie doesn't know how to feel about itself. It seems to me to be stuck in some kind of weird limbo on many different levels. First off, I think it can't decide or doesn't want to decide if it's a super realistic take of Noah with, this war and, the way people probably lived back then. I don't know why Noah's going into battle with a king. I don't remember that part of the story. And at the other time, it's like super religious. It isn't creating like this really wonderful, warm, almost like the Charlton Heston famous Ten Commandments film. An instant classic that can be played every year on Easter. They're not doing that either, which I find very odd. By the way, this movie isn't coming out for Easter, which I also find very odd. I mean, that's the perfect time for a religious movie to come out. Instead, it's coming out at the end of March, a whole month before Easter, not even close. But I guess that's because they don't want to get anywhere near Transcendence, which opens on Easter. So a lot of Christians will be spending the holiday with Christopher Nolan's DP and his directorial debut and Johnny Depp. But anyway, back to Noah. So as I'm saying, it's not super realistic and it's not super religious. It's kind of in the middle between both. And I think that it would have been interesting maybe to go the super realistic route. It might have ticked off a number of religious people, but I've always been fascinated personally by, the somewhat recent revelation that when this story would have taken place for reals, there actually was a flood at that time. And while it didn't cover the entire earth, and it probably wasn't as big as the story tells, it seemed big at that time because people's worlds were smaller, because obviously there was no technology, and something like what happened with Hurricane Katrina would seem like a God-motivated event that was just devastating on a global scale. And that would have been really interesting, and an interesting parallel to Katrina, which certainly is not to be underestimated in the chaos that it caused, both socially, environmentally, and politically. All right, so that's the first layer that I think this is kind of stuck in the middle. The second is visually. There are some beautiful images here. My favorite is when that sword goes into the ground and the fire shoots out. I think that's really cool. The snake coming out of it looks like the flower, Noah's dream. But then it's contrasted with truly some really ugly visuals. I mean, there's some really unattractive scenery here. Noah and his family, I mean, obviously they're not supposed to be very wealthy, but it's not a cozy environment either. It's just super bleak. And this is a color palette and a bleakness that doesn't really appeal to moviegoers, especially in the religious setting. I mean, I think Passion of the Christ, even that movie had some warmth to it in the color tones. And of course, that was a super realistic take of what happened to Jesus, and I think that's why that worked so well. But then, they're not going the route of, say, the Ten Commandments is, a really, as I said, a really successful film that everybody enjoys and has a lot of playability, big success factor. And I think there's no shame in making a comforting religious film about Noah. So that's the other area where I think, this is both beautiful and ugly. So I think that, you're like, oh, I want to see that image, but you know what? I'll just look at the still because the rest of the movie looks ugly. Now, the other limbo is that, well, I'm very curious about what Darren Aronofsky is going to do in his, first big studio movie. Aronofsky, sorry. It's very early in the morning. Okay, Darren Aronofsky. I think that that's interesting. But at the same time, I've been burned so many times by Russell Crowe that I just don't know if I can trust him again. I mean, I'll never forget sitting through another one of his water-centric films, Master and Commander, which I've been quite looking forward to, only to have it be one of the worst movie-going experiences of my life because it was just so epically boring. So I have flashbacks to that, and it makes me not want to see this. So I'm really stuck in the middle here. I think I need some more trailers and some buzz to kind of help me decide what I want to do. As I reported earlier, the buzz on this so far is not good. Apparently everyone is offended or just maybe bored, from Christians to Jewish people to even non-believers. Everybody's just like, I don't like this. So we'll see what they're doing to it right now in the editing room to maybe try and fix that. But from what I'm seeing in this trailer, I'm not surprised that that's the initial reaction, because I don't really quite like this trailer. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. Are you excited about this purely for Darren Aronofsky and what you think he might be able to deliver? Or do you think this actually looks good from the trailer? And if so, what do you like about it? And what do you think about this movie trying to have its cake and eat it too? Being both realistic and religious. I would be curious to know what you think of that. All right, so write your thoughts down below. Thank you to everybody who asked for my trailer review of Noah. And you can check out some other episodes right now.